Okay, this is going to be lesson number 8 for 10th grade. Okay, the topic, you can find it on page 56 on your books. Okay, in this lesson, we're only going to talk about some definitions that we need to know when we start working with these geometry topics. Okay, so we're going to review some definitions. Okay, these definitions, you have seen them before, but we will review them so that the information is fresh. Okay, so the first thing we have is an angle. Okay, an angle says two rays with same endpoint, but not on the same line. Okay, so if we're talking about an angle, okay, we're talking about two rays. Okay, so we have two rays with the same endpoint. Okay, so remember that this is an endpoint, and here we have one ray, here we have another ray. Okay, each endpoint has a name. Okay, so this is endpoint A, this is B, and this is C. Okay, and the distance in between these two rays is the angle. Okay, the angle, we can name it in several different ways. We can use alpha, beta, theta, omega. Okay, I usually like to use theta, okay, which is a 0 with a line in the middle. Okay, so when we're talking about the angle, we're talking about the measurement between these two rays, okay, and they have the same endpoint. Okay, endpoint as in this one, that is also called a vertex. Okay, and this is vertex. Definition number 2, a common endpoint of two rays that are fitted into one angle. Okay, now we also have coterminal angles. Okay, now to understand coterminal angles, we have to remember the coordinate plane. Okay? Okay, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Okay? And when we remember our topics between number lines, we know that this side, okay, is a positive x-axis, and this side is a negative x-axis. This one is a positive y-axis, and to this side, okay, because this point in the middle is 0, okay, this point in the middle is 0, and the numbers coming down from 0, we know that it's a y-axis, but negative. Okay, so when we're talking about coterminal angles, they say angles in standard position, positive x-axis, that have a common terminal side. Okay, so a coterminal angle means that if I have this angle here, okay, let's say that this angle here, theta, okay, a coterminal angle is going to be the measurement from this point to here, okay, and from this point to here. Okay, so depending on the measurement of this angle theta, okay, we're going to know which are the coterminal angles to one side and to the other side. Okay, so let's say that this angle is the measurement of this angle is 30 degrees. Okay, so if theta here is 30 degrees, that means that the coterminal angle here is 30 minus 360, because remember that the measurement of the whole terminal of the whole coordinate plane is 360. So if we have 30 for theta, that means that 330 is going to be the measurement of one coterminal angle, and the other one is going to be the 30 degrees plus the 360, which would be 390. Okay, and depending on the direction that we're measuring, it's going to be a positive angle or it's going to be a negative angle. Okay, we're not going to dig into the measurements yet. We're just talking about coterminal angles. Okay, so remember, this angle is in standard position, and the measurement from here to here again, because they have a common terminal side, which is the angle. Okay, so the measurement up to here is one coterminal angle, and the measurement from here to here is the other coterminal angle. Okay, now adjacent angles. Okay, two angles that have the same vertex. Remember that this is the vertex. Okay, one common side but no common interior points. Okay, so if we're talking about an adjacent angle, let's use this one also as an example. So if we have this angle here. Okay? An adjacent angle is going to be, for example, this one. Okay, so if we have that this one is A, B, and C, okay, this angle in the bottom is CB, and let's put this one as D. Okay, so the angle ABC, the angle ABC is adjacent, to the angle CBD. Okay, they're adjacent because why? Two angles that have the same vertex. Okay, this angle here, okay, let's put it like this. This angle theta is adjacent to this angle alpha. Okay, because they have one common side, which is the ray B and C. Okay, they share the vertex, which is B here and here. Okay, but they have no common interior points. Interior meaning this one and this one. Okay, and if we have a point here, it is not shared with both, and if we have a point here, it's not shared with both. Okay? Then, quadrantal angles. Okay? When we're talking about the quadrantal angles, we're talking about if the terminal ray lies on the x or y axis, and it could be positive y axis or negative y-axis. Same thing with x-axis. Positive x-axis and negative x-axis. Okay? So the quadrantal angles actually have already a measurement. Okay? So if we have this as a coordinate plane, quadrantal angles are going to be, for example, this measurement. Okay? This here is going to be a quadrantal angle that is 90. Okay, 90 degrees. This quadrantal, okay, this angle, sorry, also a quadrantal. Okay, and this angle together is 180. So that's why the definition says if the terminal ray lies on the x or y axis, because here the terminal ray is going to lie on this positive y axis. If we do it 180, it lies on the negative x-axis. So if we have on this side, okay, until this angle, we have 270 degrees. Okay, because the terminal ray lies on the negative y-axis. And we also have this one, which would be the whole 360, because the terminal ray lies on the positive x-axis. Okay? Now, we can also have them negative. Okay, if we start from here and we measure on this direction, we're going to have a negative 90 degrees. We're going to have a negative 180. We're going to have a negative 270. And we might have a negative 360. Okay, so those are the quadrantal angles. The ones that lie on the coordinate plane, okay, and it could be on the x-axis or the y-axis. Okay? Perfect. Okay, so these are some of the definitions that we're going to need for the topics, okay, for page 56 and 57. Okay, this lesson doesn't have any exercises, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, the only thing is that be sure to read these definitions. They are also on page 56, because on the next lesson, which would be lesson number 8, we are going to have some exercises that, remember, you're going to have to hand in. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Make sure to check this lesson, okay, and send me your questions if you have any.